MudBall. MudBall! Oh, MudBall. 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 MudBall.
Welcome to the MudBall Podcast. I'm here with Tony and Jay.
Pleasure to be here.
How's it going? Thanks, Nate, for having us on.
Yeah, really appreciate it.
All right, guys, it's April, and we all know that Masters is this week. It's going to be a fun week ahead. What are your top picks for this week?
Top picks. It always comes down to a few names, I would say, but this year's a little different. There's so many guys that have been hot recently. Recent success, such as Scotty Scheffler picking up his first 2 wins within 5 starts. It's just there's so many names to pick. You got to find someone that's been on good form, who's been hot recently, someone who's going to strike the ball well, hit a lot of greens, but also putting, because we all know Augusta, the greens are the hardest part. They're going to be running 13 on the stem. Tony?
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. I just think you got to stay away from... I don't think Will Zalatoris can win at Augusta, at least not this year. I don't see the putting. I see the putting being too big of an issue.
Yeah, but that's going to be such a short course for him.
Will Zalatoris?
Yeah.
You got to find a great ball striker.
Yeah.
And Will Zalatoris is one. But I think Canadian Corey Connors,
he
good
could
ball
do
striker,
really well.
and he can putt.
Totally. Yeah, I see Will coming in top, like 5, maybe top 10. I just don't see him winning.
Wow.
Dark horse
I think
horse
a
winning.
missed cut from Will.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I think dark horse winner. If I had to take 2 guys, Rory McIlroy, Tony Finau.
Tony Finau is going to break another ankle.
As long as we keep him away from the par 3 course, he should be fine. So,
Look, I'm going dark horse, Cameron Young. You should see the guy hit the ball. It's even better in person.
it's electric. It's in person. It's different. You can tell that when he strikes the ball.
He's a rookie on the tour this year, but he's second in driving distance behind Cameron Champ, his first Masters, and I don't think he's going to back down.
So you think Scotty Scheffler has a chance of extending his winning streak?
Not really. I don't see it.
I don't know, that Augusta Pine Straw, he loses his balance with the right foot. It looks like he slips. People were talking about that last year. If he's in the trees, he might be in a bit of trouble.
I see a very mediocre first round followed up by a mediocre Saturday. No chance.
You think we're going to have someone that's already won the Masters before? Second-time winner or first-time winner?
Possibly fifth?
Maybe even a 5-time winner.
Yeah? Do you think Tiger's playing?
I think Tiger's playing.
I mean,
I don't know.
He's there right now. He touched down this morning.
I think Tiger's playing. He wouldn't play if he didn't think he could win. And if Tiger thinks he can win, then he can win.
That's the thing, though. Augusta is such a slopey golf course. If there's one golf course that, would be hard for Tiger to walk 72 holes, even more than 72 holes because we're taking into account practice rounds, I think Augusta's one of the hardest courses to walk.
Yeah, it could weigh on him as the week goes on for sure.
But people say that he's been walking for the past week, playing every day, walking 18 holes.
We saw him at the PNC. I mean, he just looked like he was getting run down. I mean, I watched him just plop down after the round and watch Charlie hit balls, and he just looked so defeated.
Yeah, but that was 6 months ago.
Yeah.
A lot could change.
Yeah, I mean, he also got to ride in a cart, though, so, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I think we have to wait to see for that first round to see how well he does.
Well, if he does.
That's my first take is he's playing.
He's playing.
Any predictions on the first round for Tiger?
If he plays?
Yeah.
Assuming he plays?
I'm pretty sure
-1.
I'm pretty sure everyone thinks he's playing, and I'm pretty sure he's going to play.
-1.
Really?
Yeah.
So you think he's going to make the cut?
I didn't say that. It's a different question. I think the first round's -1.
76.
What, so he's going to go 71, 80?
No. But, I mean, it just depends on how the course is playing. I mean, I could see him going 71, 75, which would probably make the cut, but...
Yeah, but the course is probably going to be set up same as in the past.
Same as usual. It just depends on how soft it is, how much rain they get. If it gets fast, I mean, I could see it getting away from Tiger.
I'm just telling you, they're extending Augusta every year. Last year they had some different tee boxes on holes 5. Every hole is going to be longer. If it's playing soft, Tiger's going to be in trouble because I don't think his back or his knees are good enough to swing 100%.
For sure.
Saw his ball speed, it was a lot lower. Everyone knows that around the greens he's going to be just fine, but if it's raining there at Augusta, I think he might be in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to have long irons in the greens all day, especially if it's, if it's fast and he has any trouble off the tee, he's going to have a long day because he's not going to be hitting greens with 5 irons in his hand.
I agree, Tony.
But isn't it the same yards as last year? Aren't they playing at 7,300?
Yeah, so it just comes down to the weather, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, you don't know if they're going to play one slightly more back than they do another day. 15 yards matters, but they may not make the stat sheet.
All right, so you think some of the big names are going to be making the cut this week?
For sure. I do. I think Jordan's going to make the cut.
Really?
Yeah.
At majors like this, my philosophy is pretty simple. It's just anyone can go out there and shoot 64 one round, okay? They're all talented. They're all good ball strikers. It's like everyone can hit the ball the same at this level.
Totally.
But after 72 holes, the best players are going to rise to the top.
Absolutely.
If you look at that top 10 on Sunday, I guarantee 5 of the top 10 players are going to be there. The other guys are all going to be inside the top 30. It's just how it usually ends up. There's 1 or 2 names that are the
Absolutely.
the story, like the St. Peter's and NCAA. But when it comes down to the final Sunday, it's going to be the big names.
Okay. All right.
Because for this week, I think I got Victor.
Victor Hovland.
Yeah, or at least the top 3.
I'm not sure I like that.
I love it.
Really? You love it?
Love it.
Because he's international?
No, I just think Vic's a good player, and he hasn't really showed out at the majors yet, but I think it might change this week.
So aside from the players playing this week, what do you guys think of Phil's missing the Masters in like 20 years?
Obviously for Phil, it's going to do a lot for his reputation, not playing. Definitely a negative impact. And I just think it just kind of shows that Phil's entire career is on a downward trend and he's going to be out soon enough.
I just think just Augusta not wanting Phil to be there showcases the significance of what he was talking about with the tours and, all of him getting dropped by sponsors like KPMG who have been with him since he came on tour and everything like that. It's just, it's sad to see kind of the downward trend like Tony was saying about a great player, someone that we all looked up to as kids, but I think that's what's happening now. I think the win of the PGA Championship last year when he was 50 was a sayonara sweetheart win.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, I know you have a strong opinion about the Saudi tour coming up, but do you think Phil made a big mistake with his comments?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think his comments might have been immature, and I think everyone was saying that. I mean, Rory said that Phil shouldn't have said that. When you're as high a standard and of Phil, you have like your speech matters a lot, so you just have to be careful what you're saying, I think.
Don't you guys think it was a little harsh for the Masters committee to ask him to not come to this tournament?
I do, definitely, but I mean, it's not exactly for Augusta to be subtle. I mean, there's a lot of stories of them, picking at little nitty things. So I wouldn't say it's out of character for Augusta to say no, but I think it was just irresponsible for Phil to say that in the first place. So, I mean, I'm not really sure he has a leg to stand on.
It wasn't the best comment from Phil, but like he is a 3-time Masters champion.
What does that buy him? I mean, it doesn't buy him immunity from Augusta. I mean, how many people have tried to be members at Augusta who are rich and powerful, and Augusta, gave him the finger and said, turn away?
That's the special thing that I think with Augusta is just because of its exclusivity and all of its traditions, it just makes it like a tradition unlike any other, like Nance will say this week. Like, there's not much else that Augusta's going to do, because if they don't want someone to be there, then they have the power to say, you're not coming. No other tournament can say that in the world. I don't think.
No one can. I just don't think the power is matched by anybody.
No one's going to say anything because it's Augusta.
Yeah. I mean, if Tiger said something like that, I think Augusta would stand up and say, no, you're not coming. And I just don't see any other tournament saying that.
Really? I feel like the Masters committee would just never do that to Tiger.
No, yeah, Tiger's a little bit different. But if Tiger said something equal to Phil or even a little bit stronger than Phil, still, I think Augusta, I mean, I know how much money Augusta would lose, and I know how much energy is generated by him and how much money, is at forfeit, but still, I mean, Augusta is Augusta, and they're gonna do it as they please and what they think is right.
He was still playing the Masters after his scandal.
Right, but I mean, that's a little bit different. I mean, that's obviously you want to have character and integrity on and off the course, but in reality is people just don't care as much if it's not related to golf. I mean, he didn't technically break any laws, I don't think.
All right, moving on from Tiger. What do you guys think about Paige possibly hitting the honorary tee shot?
Paige who?
Paige Brignac or whatever.
Yeah.
That's
The
so stupid.
Instagram.
Yeah.
That's so stupid.
That Twitter post.
That's not a real thing.
I
We're
know.
not actually talking.
I know, but like,
Oh,
what if that actually happened?
that can't
That's
happen.
dumb. That's dumb. She just like completely abuses her sexuality to get like likes and comments on social media.
You
Like she
can't
just
have-
has nothing
you
to do
can't
with
have,
golf.
You can't have Jack Nicklaus, who can barely hit a golf ball, still being there at however old he is, 80 years old, and Gary Player, who does 3,000 sit-ups a day, and now you're bringing in Paige to hit
Sprint.
after Gary Player and Jack Nicklaus.
True, but someone's got to replace Arnold.
Well, Paige isn't Arnold.
Dude, you cannot say
If
that.
Paige looked like Arnold, I'd have problems because, yeah, it's ridiculous.
Who do you guys want to see hitting that tee shot after Nicholas and Gary's gone?
After
Ooh.
Nicholas and Gary's gone.
Yeah,
That's a
we're
good
talking
question.
like
I'm not
well,
sure.
15,
Well,
20 years.
I'm not
but
sure in 15,
20 years.
If
It's
Tiger
Tiger.
could, I mean, I don't know
100.
if he will be able to, but if he could, that'd be amazing.
It's Tiger.
I mean, he might still be playing at that point.
The longevity is there. Jack Nicklaus.
The back isn't.
Jack Nicklaus, I think one of the only golf shots he hits all year is that shot.
Yeah,
He
can hardly
Tiger's
move.
going to be able to hit one swing and have the honorary shot.
Yeah,
From-
even if it only goes 150.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about Tom Watson or other Hall of Famers?
I think
Tom
just
Watson.
I think just for the longest time, those three: Arnold Palmer, Gary Player, and Jack
The
Nicklaus.
gravity just isn't the same too. It's Tom
Yeah.
Watson. It's not
Yeah.
Gary Player.
It's not.
You know,
Because growing up, I've only seen those three hit those shots, and I just never thought that would change.
I mean, I think if you track down the line even further, you know, maybe, 40 years, I think you might see people like Rory hitting it. You know, DJ hitting it. I mean, you might maybe not DJ.
Well, Rory has to win first. I mean,
In like 40 years, I can see just Tiger and Phil at that point. They're going to be like 80.
I don't know. I just think eventually the golfers of, our generation who are, maybe 10 to 15 years younger than Tiger, you'll eventually see them come up.
but this is the thing. There's so many people with the younger generation who are
Right.
like 25 right now. You've got Spieth, JT, Rory. Now you got other guys coming onto the scene: Morikawa, Hovland, Scheffler.
Someone's going to distance
Who-
themselves eventually.
You think someone's gonna figure out how to win like 8 majors like Tiger?
Somebody's eventually going to distance themselves. Maybe in the future it's 6, but somebody's going to come along eventually, and they're going to they're going to push the envelope again.
I don't know.
I mean, it happens every like 30 years.
I mean, like, maybe if Bryson was like more athletic and skinnier and better at putting and like,
So that was a lot of ifs.
yeah, and maybe just better looking in general and more charismatic and
There's more ifs.
yeah, there's probably a couple more, but I mean, I just think it needs to be someone that's like that can change the game in a positive way and still do everything else well. So that's obviously a special person. It takes a couple decades to get somebody like that.
Look, I think Brooks had it going in the 2017-2018 run when he won 4 majors, but since then it's just after the COVID wasn't good to him, I guess he hasn't really come back firing.
I'm not a Brooks believer at all. I just don't see anybody like that, holding how good they are for 2 decades. I think you have to be somebody like Tiger who's just like, you almost have to be insane to work that hard. Like you almost have to have something mentally wrong with you to be able to hold that level of intensity.
Because I feel like Brooks' run is kind of coming to an end.
Yeah.
It is, but people said the same thing about Dustin. And before Dustin, it was Day, and before Day, it was Spieth, and before Spieth, it was Rory. Like, people get hot, and people say they're the next Tiger, and like you can't just see it through 1, 2, 3 years. I mean, Tiger did it for like 10, and he won like 30% of his majors for like 10 years, and that's with like a 2-year period with the scandals and everything where he had just had huge problems. So I mean, I think it has to be assessed over a longer period of time.
All right, before we end this podcast, I just want to ask you guys one little question. What's your guys' top 3 course in the U.S.?
Top
That
3.
I've played or that I know of.
Yeah.
Whether you want to play it or you've played it before.
Augusta. I want to play Augusta. That's not even close.
Augusta's number 1, I think.
Alpine Valley?
No. Augusta's
Augusta.
number 1, I think, for pretty much all golf fans.
Yeah, if you're just not a golf fan if it's not Augusta, I think. I mean, let's be real.
I've got Augusta 1, Cypress 2, Seminole 3.
Seminole 3.
Wow. Tony?
Yeah, Augusta's easy. Whistling Straits 3.
Maybe Sand Hills in Nebraska.
I think I'm going to go with a West Coast course. I think,
Pebble?
no. No, I think Pebble's a little overrated, to be honest. God, I don't know. You know, I might go Sawgrass, too. I just really like the course.
It was pure.
It wasn't even that it was pure. There's a lot of pure courses. I just thought it was so cool. And especially as, like, just memories associated with the players and seeing it every year. Okay, yeah. I would go Augusta, Sawgrass.
It's kind of like Augusta because they play the players there every year.
Yeah,
they play
there's
the
something about
Masters
it
there.
for me.
You know every hole.
Yeah, all right. Good.
All right. Thank you guys for being here. I'll see you guys next time.